Welcome to Rox Talks. My name is Roxanne Wilson, and it's always a pleasure to be here with y'all. I am so excited about today because we're going to talk to someone who was uber successful in the network marketing realm, but she found a different way and started her own business. And we're going to hear about that, but also we're going to hear about how she did that and why she found much love for all things Pinterest. So sit back, relax, and let's take a listen. And I'm going to disclaim that I am in the middle of the summit when we record this. So my brain is not fully there, but it's okay because the information is fantastic and you're going to love Mary Pendleton. So let me just tell you a little about Mary. I mentioned that and you'll hear the company, she was with LuLaRoe, and she was rocking it. But because of some life changes, she decided she needed to do something else. You're going to hear about what she's doing now and how she's consulting. And I think I know you're going to get a lot of great nuggets that's going to help you with your business and your journey. So we're going to really dive in right now. Mary Pendleton, welcome to Rox Talks. It's so good to have you here. I'm excited to know all things Mary.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Roxanne. This is super exciting.
Well, your story is really one that I believe is going to resonate with my listeners from beginning to end. The intrigue of Pinterest is definitely there, and more network marketers are hearing about people growing their business on Pinterest. And for those who don't want to be on social media in a way that really can, believe it or not, like they're worried about rejection or likes and things, Pinterest is such a good place to be. Would you agree?
Oh my gosh, 100%. It's a totally different culture than Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. So, but before we get there, your story is interesting because, who wakes up and says, I'm going to be a guru in social media? I'm thinking not many people. So how did you get there? How did you even find your love and passion for it?
Yeah, well, okay, so I had this desk job for 12 years and I kept thinking, what am I going to do next? And my sister actually kept saying, you should sell LuLaRoe. Feel these soft leggings. You're pregnant. You should wear these clothes. And she kept mailing them to me. And I'm like, okay, these are great, but never thought much about it. But then suddenly one day I was in the shower and how you get those shower moments
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're
that's the best. The best moments are the shower.
totally, I had a life-changing shower and I was like, I should sell LuLaRoe. I live in this tiny San Francisco apartment and I don't know where I could store it. And I already have a job. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I think I could be pretty good at this. So I got out of the shower and convinced my husband, and we were like, okay, sure, let's figure this out.
Wow.
So yeah, so I started selling LuLaRoe and I was pretty good at it. I went on the cruises, I built a team.
Nice.
Actually, I made this YouTube video about how to sell LuLaRoe in small spaces because I was stuffing my inventory in every corner of our apartment. And it did really good because that was a question people had, how do you do this with such small space?
Because you have to have a lot of inventory, not to get the specifics, but you have to carry all that inventory, don't you?
Exactly. You have to have it all in your house, basically. So,
Wow.
but that YouTube video is one thing that got me to kind of have a mental shift about the power of social media.
Tell me
Um,
more.
yeah, and so I started my Instagram account. I started a Facebook group, a business page, all the things, a Pinterest account, and a couple things, started to go viral for me. And I really loved the social media aspect of my business.
Wait a minute. Okay, so when you say a couple things went viral, most people don't hop on social media and all of a sudden their posts or the pins are going viral. What was it about yours, and what platforms, you don't mind me asking, when you
Sure.
can
Yeah. Well, Pinterest in particular. So with LuLaRoe, there's a whole bunch of different styles, and every style fit a little bit differently. And there were sizing charts, and sometimes it got confusing as I'm a size 10. What am I supposed to wear in all these different styles? And there wasn't so anyways, I created a size chart, like a universal size chart. It was a big grid basically. So I basically solved a problem for a question lots of different people had, and I threw it up on Pinterest one day.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you basically created a size chart for every kind of style of LuLaRoe pants. And
Yes.
you did the whole grid, and you put it on Pinterest, and then
Yeah.
you wake up the next morning and it's gone viral.
1,000%. Yes. I'm pretty sure it's still on Pinterest. Like I still have it being repinned actually. And
Wow.
I don't even sell LuLaRoe anymore. But the
And
great thing
when you
about Pinterest is that it's social media disguised, or it's a search engine disguised as social media, right?
Mhm.
So like you can put stuff up there, and if you use the right keywords, it's going to get found, and it's going to get repinned, and it's going to have this evergreen life cycle that other social media platforms don't have.
Okay, I want to talk about that more, but first, because just like when people say, I don't have enough or that's too much, that's viral is vague. So when you say viral, can you tell my listeners what you mean by like how many times did that thing get repinned?
Yeah. Okay. It hit the million pin mark. I swear every person who wore LuLaRoe and searched for it on Pinterest shared that thing because it solved such a problem. You know what? I wonder if I thought of that thing in the shower one time too, come to think
I'm
of it.
sure you
I
did.
bet I did.
Yeah, shower moments with Mary. You
Yeah,
know, what I think is so interesting about that, and I do want to hear about keywords and whatnot, but is that you just solved a problem.
exactly. That's so much of what social media is, right? Just thinking in business actually in general. Seeing a need and filling that hole.
That's the entrepreneur life. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like these days people think, oh my gosh, I need to do a post for my business. So let me see what everyone else is doing. Okay, I'll take a little of that and that, or I'll just take that completely and do it. And there's not a lot of uniqueness out there. Would you agree?
Oh my gosh, so I so agree. Yeah. So you have to, instead of looking for content ideas on the platform, you got to
Mhm.
back up, think of your ideal customer, you know who she is, go call her, ask her what keeps her up at night, and that's what you should post about.
That's brilliant. Ask your customers what they need.
Yes.
And that probably works not only for posts, but also for lead generators. It'd be a great place to
Oh,
begin their need.
totally. I wish I had made that as a lead generator back then. Can you imagine my email list?
Oh my goodness, it would be
Ugh.
huge.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. And I think what's interesting about that is even when you take a step back and even look at your business and the things that you and maybe your consultants, your team are going, gosh, I wish we had this. And it's like obviously out there. Now yours was interesting because what it did is it was for the women buying the clothes as well too. So you really were like something that we don't have. Let me figure that out and then create that need. And then millions of downloads later, you're the Lululemon sizing chart queen.
Totally. Yeah. So, let me just finish my story though. I feel like I
Yes,
totally got off
sorry,
track.
I'm like fascinated, but
It's
please.
okay. So I loved LuLaRoe. I ended up stepping away from that other desk job, having more and more kids, and direct sales really freed me up to be able to create that kind of a lifestyle.
That's awesome.
Um, so my so eventually we moved into a bigger space in San Francisco, which I am in right now.
Nice.
I have 3 kids though, and they were all sharing one bedroom so that another room could be dedicated to my business. And at a certain point, I just lost my mind and I was like, this has got to change. So I realized, what do I love most about this business? It's the social media part. It's really what I did best at. I had gained 10,000 Instagram followers because I'm also obsessed with Instagram. I had, my Pinterest following, that YouTube channel. I've since started another YouTube channel for my social media, so whatever. But the social media part is the part that I was most passionate about. The idea of social selling is so cool, creating relationships. Um, I also love the visual and the storytelling aspect of it. I was an art history major in college, and I love the way people and images relate to each other. You know what I mean?
Yes, I definitely, and I love that too. And it comes to life with Pinterest, with Instagram, especially I'd say with
Mhm.
those two. I'm going to pause you on your story because what you just said was so poignant. So you were in the new house, the bigger house, you had the kids, and you had that can I call it a tipping point? Is
Totally.
that
Yeah.
and where it was like the business or my life, and you chose your life.
Yep.
how hard was it for you to walk away from your business in that moment? And what made you, well, no, answer that, and then I got another one for you.
Okay. It was super hard, mostly because of the friendships I had made and the community I had made,
Yeah.
and I was so wrapped up in that world that I felt like going out on my own, I would be all by myself. I wasn't gonna have the text groups, the Facebook groups, all the support, we
Yeah.
were sharing each other's inventory, it was like such a community that I really valued. It was really scary to walk away from that.
That is such a huge thing, I think, because that camaraderie and that community is what I think makes people stay even when sometimes they're not loving the business portion of it because that's so strong.
Yep, exactly.
So, are you a risk taker? What made you go, you know what, I'm doing this anyway?
Huh, am I a risk taker? I'm not. I'm so slow, and I take forever to make a decision.
Really?
Um, yeah, but when I know it has to happen, I just know it has to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, my poor son was, we had like a crazy bedtime routine because the 3 kids going to bed at different times, and I just was like, I just needed the flexibility. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah,
No, please go ahead.
I I lost my train of thought.
Okay. Well, then I'll jump in. My question for you, when you realized it was time to go, what made you say, you know what, I'm going to create my own business rather than go back to the 9 to 5? Because you
Oh
did
my
it for
gosh.
2 years. So how did
That
you
thought never even crossed my mind.
love that?
Um, yeah, what happened with LuLaRoe is that I realized, I gained so much self-esteem, so much
Mhm.
self-confidence. It opened up my mind to the possibility of helping people, and one to many. You know what I mean? So it really helped me just see the world differently, see myself differently. I gained so much confidence being there. It was unreal. I felt like it was like a life coaching thing I went through. Do you know what I mean?
That's that's so nice. Did you ever think I want to go to another network marketing company, or did you know it was time for you to step out on your own?
I think I knew it was time for me to step out on my own. I really just wanted independence. I wanted
Mhm.
to just and I didn't want that many people relying on me. Do you ever have that feeling? Like my kids and my husband rely on me, and I couldn't have any more children.
Yeah, that's a really great way to put that. That's a very great way.
Yeah.
So you knew
So,
you
and
like
you know what? My first clients were other LuLaRoe retailers. I knew
so
there's so much low-hanging fruit around me. I had done so well on my own social media, so I thought I just kinda started, one of them came to me and was like, "Mary, would you please help me with my social media?" She was a high-level coach in the business, so I was like, "Oh, sure," and then she started telling people, and it really took off.
that's amazing. So it was a natural kind of transition.
Yep, exactly.
So let's transition then and let's dive into Pinterest because you seem to know a lot about Pinterest. I'm going to call you $1 million Mary or million pin Mary or something like
Yeah.
that. So you mentioned keywords earlier, and I love how you described Instagram. I'm sorry, I'm an Instagram world. I love how you described Pinterest as being a search engine masked as a social media site. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. So on normal social media, like on Instagram or Facebook, you post something and it just kind of gets buried. It has a pretty short-term shelf life. But with Pinterest, you post something and it's searchable. So people search for it and it gets pinned again and it gets pinned again and it kind of just like cycles through. It has a much longer life range. It's evergreen. So it's super cool. Also on Pinterest, you can find what you're looking for. So much on Instagram, you just scroll and you're waiting for things to find you. But on Pinterest, you can be a lot more proactive, go out and find exactly what you're looking for.
That's a
Also,
really
you
great way
can
of putting it.
scroll.
I want you to repeat that again. That's really great. You said that you on Instagram, you just look. You have to say it again because it's so good. I'm like, can you say that?
Yeah. On Instagram, it's much more passive, right? You just kind of scroll and wait for things you love to find you. But on
Mhm.
Pinterest, you get to be more active. You get to go out there, type in something you're looking for and you can find it. And not only that, you can find things related to it. Their algorithm of finding related pins is so mind blowing. I don't even know how they do it, but I think it's the best thing out there. So much better than Google. Oh my gosh. A lot of times I just go straight to Pinterest. I just skip over Google. You know why? Because I trust pinners more than I trust the entire World Wide Web. Are my people. They're going to come up with what I need better than what Google does.
That's pretty fascinating and a really great way of thinking about it. I think that, if you're a photographer or you're a DIYer or you're about to get married or renovate your house, people automatically think Pinterest. But I like the idea that people are saying, hey, wait, you can actually grow your business. You can do lead gens on there, the whole 9 yards. But I'll be honest with you, and I've pinned for years, not about my business until recently, but pinned, I mean, I still get like green dress, emerald dress that I posted like, oh, someone saw that. So I hear what you're saying. It's kind of like a ripple effect. Like if you drop a rock into water, it just keeps going and going and going.
Yep.
But can we be strategic about it for our business?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the thing is, you can't just take your Instagram post, copy and paste it over into Pinterest, and expect it to have the same results.
Why not? Sounds easy
I
to me.
know, right? Because that's what so many of us do. I used to do that same thing on Pinterest too, just because I'm trying to repurpose all my content, right? And so you're
Right.
just like, oh, sure, copy and paste, and there it goes. But no, you really got to be strategic about it. First of all, I have a few points. I'm not sure how many, but I know there's more than one. First of all, you got to use keyword packed descriptions. So on Pinterest, when you go and search for something, when you type in, let's say you type in green dress, it's
Mhm.
going to come up with several keywords underneath it. They come in these little squares. I wish I had a visual right now to show you, but if anyone listening is doing this, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It comes up with these little suggested keywords underneath the search box. And those are the keywords that you want to use in your description. Pinterest is telling you exactly what words to put in your description in order for people to find you.
Wow, that's a good way of putting it. It's saying use these words. So you can either decide to listen or just cut and paste what you had on Instagram.
Exactly. So I'm not saying like, I mean, it's not like those little poem magnets that go on the
Yeah.
refrigerator where you like try and make a sentence out of weird words. Don't take it too far. Still make it, a real description of what your pin is about, but use as many of those words that apply in order to make, pack your description full of searchable keywords. It's like SEO for Pinterest. It's really the best thing you can do.
So the more words that I use that they suggest, the more likely people are going to find my pins and I'll get repinned and repinned and repinned.
Exactly.
Okay. That you make that seem really simple. Is it that simple?
It's gonna give you a leg up. So it's not like a if you if you put keywords in your post, it's not like it's going to, be a guarantee, but it is
Mhm.
the smartest thing you can do. Um, Other smart things you can do is create boards that are based on trending topics. So if you go to the Pinterest 100, which is a website Pinterest made that has the top 100 trending topics of the year.
What?
And you can go through there, find trending topics that fit back with your brand, and then create boards about that because that's what people are searching for. And try and tie those things into your brand so that you are topical.
Wow. I'm
Isn't
gonna,
that cool?
that's so cool. It's called Pinterest 100.
Yeah.
So cool.
You know what I love about Pinterest? They want you to succeed and they give you tools to do well. A lot of other platforms, I'm not going to name names, but they're like a walled garden and you are just hearing rumors from people that say they went to the headquarters and like you don't really know what's true or not. Pinterest is they're a wide open book. I love
Well,
them.
and that's a good little segue to this. We're going to go down a little rabbit hole for a second, and we'll get back on the trail. But speaking of headquarters, aren't you headed somewhere really interesting this week?
I totally am. I got invited to the Pinterest headquarters on Friday to have coffee with the people at Tailwind. I don't know if you know about Tailwind, but they're like the best Pinterest planning platform. They're a Pinterest partner. And I live here in San Francisco, so sometimes I randomly get these emails that are like, "Hello, Mary Pendleton. We see you are on our platform 24/7, and we would like to pick your brain."
And you're like, yes, I'm on my way.
I'm like, 8:30 on Friday, my husband will take the kids to school. I don't even have to ask him. We can make this work. So, yeah, I'm heading there and I'm so excited. So I've done something like this before. I also got invited to Facebook last year for a similar thing because I am on Messenger 24/7. So I got to go to the Facebook headquarters, their San Francisco offices. But at that one, it was so interesting. There was no Facebook branding anywhere. I was like, isn't there a logo I can take my picture in front of? No, nothing. It was all so subtle. It was really interesting.
Interesting.
But I
That's
hear Pinterest is better at,
they're more visual, Mary. Of course they are.
yeah. And I hear they also have like a merch store downstairs. You better bet I'm gonna load myself up with all the Pinterest gear.
Get the swag. Awesome. We're gonna have to follow you on Instagram to see how your Pinterest
Yeah, exactly.
version went. Okay, I had to go down that rabbit hole, so forgive me.
Yeah.
So keywords, then also making boards that go with the Pinterest 100.
Yes. And also, by the way, you want to use keywords in your board descriptions also. Don't forget about those board descriptions.
Now, when we type in the board description, will the keywords show up?
No, you have
Okay.
to open a separate browser, search for what your board is about, and it will come up
Okay.
with the keyword suggestions.
Okay. This is brilliant. Love this. Okay. That's doable. So what else would you add to the pie? And if you're not going to add image, we have to talk about the images.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the images are great. So you don't want to just do a plain picture. You want to have text on the picture. And if
Okay.
you use Canva, do you guys know about Canva?
Yes.
Canva. It's like am on they should probably give me a call because I use their website.
They live in Australia, so good. If you
Oh,
get,
really? No
yeah,
wonder.
they're based in Australia, so if you get that, that's not just because of location. That means that
Yes.
you're like top dog.
Okay, well, I am also obsessed with Canva, and so use the Pinterest templates on Canva. It's super easy.
Mhm.
Like they make it the easiest. So, and what you want to do is have a text, text overlay over your picture in
Mhm.
big bold letters, and then you also want to have smaller text that gives people a reason to click on the thing. So it could be like, um, how to dress for the office or something like that. The best work styles for your body. And then in the little thing, you would say, click for click for 5 styles for your body type. So you want to,
Oh,
and Pinterest tells you to do this in their trainings. So,
oh.
and then have like a little arrow and then a smaller text that really increases the clickability of your post.
I'll tell you right now, I've not been doing this. And full disclosure, I've started doing like getting back into not getting back into getting into Pinterest for my business because I was doing it for fun and play. And
Yeah,
I use Canva. Canva on the desktop rocks the Canva. We won't talk about the app.
exactly.
And I make the Pinterest post, but I have not been doing the arrow or doing the click here for. I'm going to start doing that. That's exciting. I'm like, ooh, okay, okay.
That call to action is so important. Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that. Partially because I'm just doing it and I'm just throwing things. I'm doing the spaghetti that I don't believe in, but on Pinterest. So I'm like,
Yeah.
just throw it against the wall and see if anything's sticking. But this is strategery, as I like to call it. Okay, so we're gonna make sure the image has big words and then a click for the words at the bottom. Does it need to have the website? I see those on some pins.
Yes, you just read my mind. Okay,
Oh.
because that was the last piece of the puzzle, is so many times people pin from Instagram to Pinterest. They
Mhm.
don't care about their caption, and then the link takes people back to their Instagram page. But that really is adding in an unnecessary step where you lose so many people. So you don't want to send people from one social media platform to another. You want to send them straight to your website or straight to your lead magnet. Whatever you want them to do, think of how to send them there most directly.
Because squirrels, right? So if we have all these clicks to do, you're gonna lose us at some point. And sending someone to Instagram is asking them never to find where you want them to
Exactly. Because by then, your Instagram link in your bio has changed, so it doesn't
Yeah,
match the original post that you had posted anyways.
good point.
Forget about it.
Good point. Now, for someone who doesn't have a website, because I know some people are like, but I don't have a website. I'm doing network marketing. I haven't gotten that far yet, or ever. I'm not planning on it. What would you recommend that they do?
Well, wherever they sell their product, so usually it's a Facebook group for a lot of network marketers,
Hmm.
that's where you should send them.
Okay, that's
Or
great. And
do a lead magnet. I don't know if a lot of
I
people
love lead magnets. Yes.
grow that email list. That's what I love to do for Pinterest. And if I ever promote a Pinterest pin, which I do from time to time, it's always as a lead generation tool, and it does pretty good.
I've heard that ads do well, but I want to go back to why, because like I said, I'm a big fan of lead gens, and it's something that, as you know, from your days, is not taught to network marketers. It's like makes
Yes.
me cringe that that's not taught. So when did you realize that was important, and why do you think it's so important?
Well, back to my sister, she kept trying to convince me to create lead magnets. I don't think I ever really did. And so I didn't realize it till it was too late, to be honest. I didn't start really creating my freebies until I started my social media management business. Now I think I have like 35 of them. I'm obsessed. And it's awesome. And so many of them are for direct sales people because that's where my business started. So,
Mhm.
like, think of a problem that your ideal customer has, create a freebie that solves it really, really well so that they're super impressed. And then they're going to keep coming back for more.
Mhm. And it's that simple. You're giving them content. And I know I'm going to apologize because I said simple, and that's not fair because Legion is not simple, but the practice about what you're implementing is simple. I know that if you get bogged down with the who should I talk to and what should I say, and then for some people it's creating it. It can be a headache and all of the things, but ultimately the concept behind it is really A plus B equals C.
Yep, I love that.
So so did you do any while you're at LuLaRoe, or did you wait? Oh no, I'm sorry, you told me that. So you waited until after you left, and that's when you really got into it. So,
Yep.
but you saw the benefits of it. So now that you're doing lead gens 36, that's no small lead gen. Do you create new pins for them at different times?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I create several different pins for each lead generation, you know, thing I have going on.
Hmm.
I create several. I just word it in different ways. I change the image out. I change the description just a little bit, just so that it fits exactly which one. But I usually make like 3 or 4 pins per lead magnet. And then with Tailwind, that awesome platform that I'm meeting on Friday, I schedule it all out. So, and on Pinterest, I usually do like 50-50 original pins versus shared pins. They really encourage you to share other people's pins on the platform. So, and then, I also, after a month or so, I just repin some of my old pins.
Mm-hmm.
And that's totally okay too.
Okay, so how now we're going to call you advanced, Mary. So I
Okay.
have no idea what you're going to say next. Listening, I want them to remember we're talking to million pin Mary. Okay, so I want everyone to remember that. But here's my question for you, Mary: how often are you pinning a week?
Well, it depends on if Mary is being the best Mary. I
Yes,
am pinning.
that's
My best self pins 5 to 7 times a day. So
times
35 times a week.
7. Yeah,
Yeah,
or 49 if you want to go that far.
exactly. And some of my clients want me to pin 10 times a day.
Okay,
Some of
for the,
them are less than that though. So and it doesn't really of course, the more pins you make, the more visibility you're going to get, but it's not like you have to pin that much in order to get traction.
that was my next question. So for someone who's beginning and just wants to try the pinning thing,
Yeah, try
how consistent do you think they should be about it, like over the course of a month, 2 months, 90 days, A, and then B, how often should, just to ramp up, what do you recommend?
yeah. I'd say if you could schedule 1 pin a day, if you
Okay.
schedule 30 pins a month, you could do it all in one sitting using Tailwind. It's super awesome. Um, That would be super successful. Pinterest really gives you points. You know how social media does? The algorithm
Algorithm, yeah.
gives you points for being consistent. So by pinning once a day, that's going to do you better than pinning twice a day for 2 weeks and then dropping off.
Got it. So consistency is key.
Yes.
Got it. But at the right consistency. Those of you who listened to my last little podcast, consistency stuff. Be consistent about the right things. Okay, so do it regularly. One a day would be good to do.
Yeah.
Now you said you do 50-50. I'm going to go back to, again, this is $1 Million Mary, but so million pin. I'm going to call you $1 million, million pin, all the things. When you do it though, you said half and half. So you're doing like 3 or 4 of repins and 3 or 4 of your own brand new pins a day.
Well, and so of my pins a day, they're not always brand new.
Okay, okay.
So sometimes, as long as you give it some time in between repinning,
Hmm.
you can totally recycle old pins. Maybe
Okay.
change up the description a little bit, but you can, you know, repurpose them.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. And realistically, what type of traction do you think if someone says, okay, I'm going to dive in, I'm going to do 1 pin a day, I'm going to make this happen, do it in Canva, make my 30, use Tailwind, maybe the free version or the paid version, like make this thing happen. Um, Realistically, how much of a return on investment do you feel like they're going to get from pinning about their business or business adjacent?
Well, here's a good thing to consider is that with Pinterest, if you're just getting started, it's going to take a few months to ramp up. And I always tell my clients that also because they expect immediate results
Magic
immediately.
pill. Come on, Mary. You're $1 Million Mary.
I know, I gotta, like, let them know at the very beginning that Pinterest does take time to grow, especially because all of your pins are going to be evergreen, so, like, you have to give them time to grow. You gotta
Yeah.
plant the seeds and watch them grow. So, I'm not sure I can really answer that ROI question,
Mhm.
but I love tracking those website clicks. There's so many, like, followers on Pinterest, doesn't really matter. You know,
Interesting.
impressions is nice to know, but also is not money in the bank, right?
True.
Website clicks is the best thing you can measure because that's when people, you have all these cold leads on Pinterest, and when they click through to your website, that's when they enter one, you know, leave one room and go into the next room
Mhm.
closer to purchasing your product.
I like that. And also, I'm thinking back to what you said about Facebook, using a Facebook group for those who don't have a
Mhm.
website. That's a great way to then introduce them, whatever you got at the front of that group to bring them in. That's a fantastic way. Then they're in your world and
Yes.
you can work to get them on your mailing list. You can work to really cultivate them into clients and maybe even team
Right.
members. Who knows?
Yeah. Warm them up.
How do you feel about since you're going to go have tea with Tailwind? Maybe
Right.
it's coffee, but how do you feel about tribes? I've heard a lot about tribes and Facebook, or not Facebook. Hello, you have to forgive me because we're recording this in the middle of the summit, so my brain is like fried. But
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but how do you feel about Pinterest groups? I hear they're dying as opposed to tribes, and should we focus on one, both, or none?
Okay, great question. So if you are already in a Pinterest group and it's working for you, there is no need to like, you know, have a big dumpster fire behind you and run away from it. If it's working, keep doing it.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of those Pinterest groups are super watered down and are not getting people the traction that they used to get. So I wouldn't start joining Pinterest groups,
Okay.
group boards,
Mhm.
if you're not already in them, because I think most of them are not going to serve you very well.
Okay.
Um, Tailwind tribes are working for a lot of people. And so, yeah, I use those for my clients. The thing is, the way it works is you join a tribe of like minded accounts, and you all commit to sharing each other's pins, repinning each other's pins. So you contribute pins to the tribe that make them available for other members of the tribe to pin from. And then every pin that you contribute, you commit to repinning that many pins from other tribe mates. So it makes it really easy for you to know where to find other pins to share, right? It's like a gold mine of repinnable content that fits within your content buckets.
So it's
So,
saving you time too.
oh my gosh, it makes it so easy.
I like that. So tribes, again, another reason why Tailwind should be something that you try, right? Is you dive in there and you can belong to like maybe one or two baby tribes, maybe three tribes when it's free, and then when it's you can pay for more.
Yep,
That is,
exactly.
yeah, I love that. Is there anything else that you would say? Okay, listen. Well, first of all, who is the if you were talking to a room of network marketers, which ones would you say you all need to try Pinterest? Pinterest is where you need to spend your time or
Which
add time to your.
which network marketers? Well, I is that what you mean? Like what
Yeah,
type of person?
and maybe not even like the industry, but the type of personality, maybe even, or either or, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
Well, I think whoever has a solution to somebody's problems,
mhm,
everybody, Pinterest is really good for you. It just depends on how you position your product. It's
uh-huh,
really good for physical products because it's so visual,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
So it's really great for clothes and jewelry and all types of skincare, all those before and afters. So it is also really good for people who provide services because you can do those text overlays. And if you are creating any other type of content that talks about what problems your service fixes, you
mhm.
can just create, grab any stock image, put your specific text over it. And I mean, you don't have to have physical products in order to succeed on Pinterest.
That's really smart, and that's a great way to do it. Okay, so basically, anyone who I like how you started. If you're solving a problem, which is everyone, then you
Yep.
should probably spend some time on Pinterest. But also, if you want to dial it down a little bit more, if you have a product, why wouldn't you spend your time on Pinterest and do a little something? And we're speaking to someone who you love Instagram, so it's not like you're not on Instagram, but you've
Oh my
seen.
gosh. Exactly.
You're like, oh my gosh, yes. But you see the benefits of both. Do you spend time on Facebook?
Ugh, on my personal profile all the
Mhm,
time, but I
mhm,
have a Facebook page for my business.
mhm.
And I mean, I don't even know why I post to it, just so that it looks like I'm alive, but I really don't. I'm it's fine. And you know what? I've considered creating like a Facebook group, free Facebook
Uh-huh.
group for my followers, but it takes a lot of time and effort, and I just as a one person show, I mean, I have a couple of VAs also, but like I'm just trying to I think I'd be spreading myself too thin. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a Facebook
You've
girl.
you've picked your two places, and that's where you're going to bloom.
Yep,
Fantastic. Mary,
exactly.
this has been so good and so educational. You've given us some really great morsels too that I can't wait to put into practice. So thank you so much. If we want to find you, or do you have anything going on right now that we need to know about?
Well, I'm always hopping on Instagram. My username is Love Mary Pendleton. So you can hop on over there, follow me. I'm always giving solutions to your problems. Wink, wink. Um, and I have a couple of memberships. I have some done for you services. If you want to just throw your whole account at me and say, Mary, take care of it. I love doing that for people.
And you do that for Pinterest, right?
Do it
As
for
well.
Pinterest. Yep.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much. We'll put a link to All Things Mary. What's your favorite link?
Instagram.com/love Mary Pendleton.
Okay, that's your favorite place for sure. Okay.
It's
Sometimes
still
people
there.
say
And then
website.
my website is also marypendletonsocial.com. That's a great hub too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this and for giving some great wisdom to us. We're gonna make you proud. We're gonna get in there and do some Pinterest. Okay.
All right. I cannot wait to see it.
Thank you. All right. I've been looking forward to this tech tip for a while for y'all because I think it's pretty poignant. Um, I have been hearing a lot over and over again I suck at tech. I'm not very techy. I'm bad with technology. Network marketers have a way of saying that a lot. And so my tech tip for you today is not a new gadget, it's not a new piece of an app, it's not a new anything except a new attitude. So maybe this is the mindset moment two rolled into one. I'm down with that. I want you to stop saying you're bad at technology because it's not serving you. In fact, it's hurting you. Hear me out here. When we say we're bad at something, we look for the opportunities to be bad for it. We don't even see the possibility or the opportunities where we're going to learn and be better at something. And so we're just constantly proving that over and over again. When we're a business people, which you are, and you're telling people you're not good at technology, which is not true, but you're saying that, are you impressing them or making them want to be in business with you, making them want to buy from you? How is that going to give your business any life? It doesn't. When you're sitting there going, oh, I'm too old for tech, why does the person want to join you in business? If they're like, well, she doesn't know tech, I don't want to be there with her. So we need to start putting our best foot forward, just like we are conscious of what we wear when we're about to like meet a client or something. You want to be sure that your words are doing the same thing, are being dressed up authentically, yes, but dress them up. So if you feel like, Roxanne, I'm really not good at technology, first I'll stop saying it. You don't have to say you're the guru at technology, but you can say, you know what? I am learning every day about technology and getting better and better. And every time you have that thought process, this is where we're going to mindset for a moment, that you're bad at technology, I want you to tell yourself, I am actually getting better and better at technology every single day. Also, your knowledge of or lack of knowledge of technology is no excuse for not doing the processes that you need for your business. They're not. Just because you think you're bad at technology does not mean that you don't have to get certain things done. It doesn't mean that you don't. I'm bad at technology, so I can't post on social media. I'm bad at technology, so I can't DM. I'm bad at technology, so I can't do a lead gen. That's simply not true. And if you're like, Roxanne, I'm serious, it takes me a long time for Canva, then we need to figure out a way for you to outsource that. There are other ways for you to outsource it for minimal amounts, or maybe you get a family member to do it, or whatever it may be, that allow you to still get it done. You don't get to erase things because you're not great at things, right? There are a myriad of things that I could say I'm not great at, but I do them anyway. I learn them, and then I'm like, okay, I can let someone else do this. So, I say to you, and one of the things I have to just say, a shout out to my members in social stories, because as we go through this Instagram sales journey, one of the steps is a landing page and a lead gen. And you know what? When we first started, it was not an offering that I offered to them. I didn't even think about it. I didn't know that it was going to hang people up. And I'm like, why aren't we getting these lead gens done? And then finally they said, well, I'm getting bogged down. No, they didn't say they're bad at technology. I'm getting bogged down in the minutia of the creation and whatnot. But here's the great thing. They did it anyway. Now I'm like, okay, now that you've done it and you're telling me that's why you don't want to do another one, let my team, and my team does it for my members. So they'll create them for them, the lead gen for them, so they don't have to go through all of that in the landing page. But they've done it once, or at least enough of them did it once, so we realized this is the service that we should offer. But you see what that is? It's offering a service to them so that they never have to say, I don't have a lead gen because I'm bad at technology. That should never be something you should say. You shouldn't stop running your business in the best way that you can because you're not good at something. And you could say, listen, technology is not my favorite thing, but guess what? That's why someone else is doing that unfavorite thing for me. So I have time to do things I love. But don't say you're bad at technology, because guess what? Technology is not going anywhere. Well, actually, it is it's going somewhere to the future, over like all these things, right? All these virtual reality, all these augmented reality, all these things. But it's not going to stop. We're not going to suddenly go, you know what? I think we're going to go back to the TV with the bunny ears. We're going to go back to the beeper, although I will say the razor is coming back, the phone, but beyond things like that. So I really want you to embrace technology. And if that means embracing the suck of having to figure it out, then embrace that. Figure out a way to either get it done or have someone else do it for you, and stop saying you're bad at it, because you're not. The other reason I want to say to you all, and just beg you to stop saying you're bad at technology is because what is that saying to and about women? Like seriously, the whole like women, you think about the fact that like it's still an anomaly that women are in engineering and science and math. Well, we're in these generations, older generations, where we're saying we're bad at tech. It's not helping any generations that are coming after us um, desire to or feel like maybe they should step it up at tech, and it's not life giving. All women are great at technology. All women are good at math. Some are better than others, but we shouldn't sit there and say things like we're bad at technology, we suck at technology. The reality is that if you are over 30, 40 maybe, um, the iPhone came out all at the same time, right? We can all remember when email came out, it was the same time. So when we say we're bad at something, we all have had the same amount of time to focus on it. You just have to decide to either focus on it or figure out a way to farm it out, but stop saying you're bad at it because you're really not. Welcome back to Rox Talks. And I have to tell you that I am like on a razor. Is that what they feel like you're just at that moment? This is day one of the summit. Y'all know I've been working on the summit since September of 2019. When we're recording this, it's literally the 25th day one of the summit. You might be going, Roxanne, why are you doing a podcast in the middle of the summit? Because this is my happy place. And these are things that I do on a regular basis. And so while I did wisely, I shut down this week. So I have certain one-on-ones and whatnot, but beyond that, I was like, nothing else. I shut it down so I didn't have any surprise coachings or anything that showed up on my counter. I'm so glad I did that because it's going so well, y'all, but I am exhausted. And I literally this morning just opened my eyes just automatically at 1:11 in the morning. Like I just up. And I've been up ever since then. It's 4:25 right now as I'm recording this. So I'm exhausted, have not been sleeping much. One of my dear friends is like, Roxy, you sleep. I know, but I just, you're just thinking about it. You're thinking about it. And I just, that my goal is to help a million network marketers grow their business and really stand in their truth as a CEO. And the reality is that since I made that goal, the summit is the biggest way for me to do that. I mean, we're talking about over thousands of network marketers are in this right now, and it's just awesome. But I want to get it right, and I want to do it right, and I want it to be something that really transforms them. I want them to look back on. I want you, because you're at the summit. It's about probably a month later when you're listening to this, but I want you to look back on February 25th to 27th, or the last week in February, and go, "Wow, mind blown!" And that is where I learned so much that transformed my business, not only for 2020 but the whole dang decade. That's what I want this to be, and so that's why I'm not sleeping. But it's going so well. Today went really well, as I keep saying. The speakers have been phenomenal. I'm so thankful that each one of them said yes, and they're rocking it and they're giving real advice. I was getting messages from some of the summit goers saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to do this and that." They're already saying it's day one. So it's been good. It's been good. So that's where I'm at. Of course, I have some goals, some big goals, and I've spent a lot of time this month on the summit. Well, this month, definitely this month, but beyond on the summit. So it's going to be a little bit odd when it's over. I'm going to be like, where do I go? But I'll tell you, I had some clarity last week, and so just getting responses back from summit goers. We've got to talk about the target market again, y'all. It's just, we've got to get that target market right. And so I'm doing something kind of risky, but I'm going to do a target market drill down live workshop on the Saturday that this is recording. So the summit ends on Thursday. I'm not telling anyone at the summit about it until after the last day of the summit, because I want them to focus on the summit. And it's not about doing something else with me. I want them to get all of the goods right here. But on Thursday, I'm going to say, hey, if you want to continue on, or if you're realizing you want to do all these social media things, but you still don't know who to talk to, how to talk, you don't know your brand, it's probably because you don't know your target market, and then the branding part comes next. So I'm going to do I want to get them right then, like so they can kick off March right. We're going to do a live workshop on this coming Saturday. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. And then the challenge returns it's either the 8th or the 9th of March will be the challenge after that. So that's kind of where people are going, and will decide if they want to become members or just be in my community. But this is where we are. So those are the deets on the behind the scenes. Also just got back from being in Arizona with my fam, and that was fantastic. Scott and I and Baylor went out there for a long weekend, Valentine's / Parents Day, President's Weekend, and so that was really great just to have that moment with fam, and I feel very thankful for that. So that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. I got onto iTunes the other day and saw that you all have been reviewing Rocks Talks podcast. I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the stars. That's so exciting. And thank you for listening to the podcast. If you're listening and you want to share it with someone, I would love that. If you'd like to share it on your social media, I would love that. And just tag me, Rocks Talks, so I can share it back out there. And thank you for the messages of how this is helping you, how you feel like, Roxanne, you're talking to and about the things that I've been struggling with. That's my goal. I want to help you. And so thank you for letting me do this. And I just want to say one more thing. You're not ahead. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And I'm so glad that I get to be on this journey with you. Thanks so much. And I'll see you next week on Rocks Talks.